After much trial and error, here's how I make padded notepads using a Ream cutter. I'm using a clear padding glue, but other colors are also available. Then you'll need a wide paintbrush to apply your glue. I find these quick release clamps easier to use than the manual ones. You'll need two. Then I use 2 pieces of plyboard to hold the paper in place. Let's start with a new Silhouette Studio file. I've disabled the cutting mat since I'll be only using the program to print. Select the media size you'll be using, in my case A4. To make the template, I'll first determine the spacing in between each design. I'm making 3.5 by 3.5 inch notepads. In a calculator, input the height of your paper, then subtract the height of your notepad until you find out how many you can put in a page. Three designs can fit in A4. Now divide the remaining number by the number of spaces you need. That's 2 spaces in between 3 designs plus the top and bottom margin, so 4. That gives us a spacing of 0.298 inches in between designs. Using the rectangle tool, I'll make the horizontal guidelines. Make sure that the line thickness is 0. The width should be the same as your paper. Then the height 0.298. Create a copy using Command or Control arrow key, then align to the top. Create another copy and align to the bottom. Create the last copy and center all on the page. Then evenly distribute the spaces vertically. Next, I'll make the vertical guidelines. The height should be the same as your paper, then the width 0.298 inches. Center the object, then align to the left. Make a copy using Command or Control arrow key, then this time move the object to the right by 3.5 inches. Create another copy and move to the right by 3.5 inches. I'll then use this template when making notepads of multiple designs. Let me show you how to use it, but first, let's create the design files. Create a square the same size as your notepad. I'll set mine to 3.5 inches. Then change the color so that it'll stand out from the template. Make sure that the line thickness is 0. Center to the page, then add the design. We've made the design so that it has a 0.125 bleed on all sides. Resize to 3.625 inches and send to the back so that the guidelines show. Select all and group. Go to File, Save Selection, Save to Hard Drive, then name your file. Ungroup, delete the design, and repeat the process for the other designs. Going back to the template, open the Layers panel. Then delete the unnecessary layers. Then add a new layer for the designs and lock the layer with the guide. Go to File, Merge, or hit Command or Control-Shift-O, then select the first design. I'll be making 2 sets for this, so I'll make a copy, and then click Merge again for the rest of the designs. I now zoom in twice to align the guideline to the template by using the mouse and arrow keys. I shall make 30 sheet notepads, so I'll then print 30 copies of this file. I printed the guidelines to check the distance in between cuts. Having the same distance horizontally and vertically means that you'll no longer need to adjust the blade when cutting. I'll need to cut the top part first, so I'll measure the bottom of the paper to the top part of the design. It's around 97 cm. Then check with the next ones going up. Next, I'll cut off the right side, so I'll need to measure the left side of the paper to the right side of the design. That is also around 97 cm. I then put a scratch paper on top, then board paper at the back. Now I'll adjust the Ream cutter to 97 cm. Make sure the papers are lined up. Then check if you're cutting the top part of the design first, starting with the bottom row. I usually put the board paper on top so I avoid getting crimp marks on the paper itself. Next, check if you're cutting the right side of the design, starting from the left column, then load into the cutter. Familiarize yourself with how your equipment works. I know mine cuts at an angle when it's cutting a thick stack. Maybe it's because the paper slides when I forget to tighten the clamp. So to be sure, I flip the stack after I cut the first. I feel that counters the angle. Here I transfer the board paper at the back if it's not there yet. Repeat the process with the remaining paper. Before I start binding them, I cover the plyboard first with scratch paper. Then I take my time aligning the papers the straightest I possibly can. Be sure to check if all the pads face the same way. Tap them on a flat surface until you get them straight. I pulled out my cutting mat because I realized my table isn't flat due to age. As you can see, I go back and forth aligning the edges. When you're satisfied with the edges, you may now clamp them together. Then apply a thin layer of padding glue from the center to the edge. I dry them overnight. Cut them too soon and the paper might warp. Remove the clamps. Starting from one side, remove the scratch paper from the plyboard. Then using a cutter, slice it off from the block. Do the same on the other side. Now I slice the individual notepads, separating the scratch from the board paper. I bet if your Ream cutter is working properly, you can just trim this first before separating the pads. Adjust the Ream cutter to 3.5 inches. I start by trimming off the sides. Check first if you're trimming the right one before loading into the cutter. Then rotate to cut the bottom. Repeat with the remaining notepads. Since these are notepads for my shop, I pack them individually. First, remove the scratch paper. Trim off the adhesive if needed. Then put inside a plastic bag with adhesive. Repeat for the remaining notepads. Hope you guys learned something new and thanks for watching.